Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about Season 4, Episode 12 of Glee called Naked. Now, I was really looking forward to this episode because of Santana and Quinn returning and it being mostly about Rachel. I was hoping it would, but it did not focus a lot on Rachel, but I loved the episode otherwise. So the episode was basically about Finn tells all of them that they lost 3 weeks of prep time for regionals and they cannot afford a bus. So at first he thinks, let's have a bake sale, but then Tina decides that they're going to have the Minnie McKinley calendar. I like that they're trying to focus a lot more on Tina. But she basically decides to have the Minnie McKinley calendar, which, yeah, that was kind of strange, but it definitely, shows. It definitely was a big plot because what ends up happening is Sam gets a very low IQ score on his SAT scores, and Brittany gets a higher score. So Sam feels like this is the only thing, and Brittany tells him how you don't have to go to college. There are other things out there for you. I like what Brittany said, even though it was really funny. She's a good girlfriend to him, I think. And I really like the advice that she gave him, but he takes this as maybe he can be a male model. And so it was very funny. I love the part where he's like, okay, you gotta have that, see all that chest on your hair? Now shave it off! I don't care what you do with it, just shave it off! I thought that was very funny what he said. And so what ends up happening is Sam ends up getting very conceited about this. And then there's also Artie. And Artie doesn't want to be a part of this. Well, he would be a part of this, but he's afraid that if they take a picture of him, he's going to be in his chair. And he doesn't think it's going to be a very sexy picture if he's in his chair. And so what ends up happening is Blaine basically shows Sam the video to show all the people who care about him and all the people who he's helped. Because Sam really was going through a midlife crisis, I think. Not really midlife, but he was going through a big crisis. And Sam ends up helping Artie basically with everything. And in the end, Sam and Artie basically make the calendar and everything turns out well. And so then let's get into the Jake and Marley stuff. Let's get into this. This episode really made me like them as a couple. We really got to see a little bit more of them. A lot more with what happened last week. Basically, Marley invites Jake to perform his song with her, and she almost says I love you, but it doesn't come out. So he talks to Ryder, and I really like the friendship with them in this episode, Ryder and Jake. And Ryder basically tells him how. And I really like the metaphoric of naked, how he says, some girls like guys who are physically naked, but he says sometimes you have to be emotionally naked, which means, like, really yourself, just down to earth. Be yourself. That's the best message I can give to anybody. Be yourself. And so he ends up performing Let Me Love You, and they end up kissing, and everything turns out well with them. This episode had a lot of jarring moments. I really do like them together. So that whole thing went on. Now let's get to the big part of this episode, the stuff they'll probably talk about the most, Rachel. So basically what happened with Rachel was that she was hired by a student who is making a student film, and Rachel thinks it's going to be a really great film and everything, and so she says, oh, one little requirement, you have to do a topless scene. And everyone basically who knows Rachel is freaking out about this, except why did Brody encourage this? Isn't Brody supposed to be a better, I thought Brody was supposed to be this more supportive and better boyfriend than Finn was. I thought that's what they were trying to show in the breakup episode. But I guess not. So that was kind of out of character for Brody. But Kurt basically says how, no, you should not do this, and we got to see the old Rachel, which I really like to see, when we had the one-on-one with Rachel. I was thinking this would actually come closer to the end, but I liked how they did it. I definitely did like how they did it, but that must have been a hard scene for Lee and Michelle to shoot. Definitely, probably a very hard scene. But basically, what happens is Quinn and Santana basically come and they basically tell her, oh, you can't do this scene. You can't do this scene. You just can't. And I really like what Quinn said, how she said, let's think of the 3-3-3. How are you going to feel about it? And she says, I mean the 2-2-2. She said, how are you going to feel about it in 2 weeks? And Rachel said she's going to feel fine about it. And then she says, how are you going to feel about it in 2 months? And I really liked what Quinn said there. Because it definitely, and then Santana says how when she made that sex tape from last year, it's now following her. Everywhere you go, and I have seen that on YouTube. If you Google my name right now, a male model is going to come up. A male sex model is going to come up, I believe. And, you know, a lot of people who do stupid things on the internet, they are scarred for life. For example, that Psy, Gangnam Style, he's scarred for life with that. There's nowhere he's going to be that he's going to be able to escape that. That's why he can't make another song. We're all waiting for him to make another song, and he just can't. So I really like that advice. And in the end, she ends up not doing it. And really, what this was trying to show is that Rachel's growing up too fast. Kurt talked to her about it when he said, what's happening to you? And she said how she's growing up, but I think she's growing up too fast. You know, I think what Rachel's trying to do again, she's trying to seize in the moment just like last week, but I think what she's really trying to do is she's trying to be different. And she's trying to not be herself. And really, I think she's going to go back to being herself now, which I really liked. And really what I have to say to Rachel is just, wow. I'm really glad that she turned it down, because I thought at first she wasn't going to turn it down. And first, also, on Glee Wiki, they said something about her having this whole thing with Brody. Where was that? That didn't even happen in this episode. But of course, the Rachel, Brody, and Kurt living situation, that scene was hilarious. He's like, Rachel, your boyfriend's bare butt is sitting down on my chair. And that was hilarious. How he was just coming out naked. I thought that was hilarious. Overall, though, this episode I thought was really, really good. I loved everything about this episode. I know this was a quick review, but that's because that's basically what happened this episode. I really loved it. Definitely, though, an awkward episode to watch, because of, like, that, some of the scenes were kind of awkward, especially for a boy to watch. Really did like it, though. I really, the one thing I want to talk about is, when I heard the title Naked, I thought, they can't do that in Glee. Can they do that? I didn't think they could, so the first thing I thought was, okay, this has got to mean something metaphoric. And in the end, it just means be yourself. Be who you are. Stay true to yourself. Don't try to be someone else. Sam was trying to be someone else. Rachel was trying to be someone else. Everyone who faced something in this episode wasn't trying to be themselves. They were trying to be someone else. It doesn't matter. It's what's in the inside that counts. I think that's the big message of this, is that yes, they were trying to do all the sexy calendars and everything, but in the end, it doesn't matter. What really matters is you yourself. And I really enjoyed this episode. Next week, I'm kind of in between about next week. The episode is called Diva. First off, this episode's going to be a little random, but I do like how we're going to have Rachel and Kirk get into a little fight, because we actually haven't seen the two of them actually fight as best friends. We've seen them fight when they're not best friends. It's going to be very interesting to see them fight as best friends. And basically, they're going to end up having a diva off would bring him home. And I think this is completely the wrong song to do. Because that is not a song that two people who are claiming they're divas should sing. They should sing something like, What Is This Feeling from Wicked. That'd be a good one for them. Or maybe, I don't know, but I don't feel like that's the right song for divas to sing. Overall, though, I definitely did enjoy this episode of Glee. I'm not really sure what's going. Oh, I also forgot to talk about Santana and Quinn. Jeez. when Rachel asked them, do you think you could stay here? Santana said she might want to stay in New York. So a lot of people are speculating that maybe she dropped out of college. And I'm thinking the same thing. She tells Sue, please don't tell my mom. Please don't tell my mom. And, oh, also, I forgot to talk about the Sue and Finn stuff. This wasn't really big. I didn't really care about it, so that's why I didn't really talk about it. But, she's gonna tell Sue to please don't tell my mom, and Sue, also, we're gonna see Sam versus Santana, and we're gonna see what happens there. And we did get a clip for the Diva song. I hate it. I do not like this song very much. It's not terrible. I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't really like it. It's funny, but I don't really like it. So overall, this was a very good episode of Glee. Very good messages. Probably the best episode of the season so far. Really loved it. So that is it for my review of Glee Season 4, Episode 12, Naked. Let me know what you guys thought of it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!